Hey, are you ready? Welcome to the Say Michael podcast. What up? What up? Yeah. Welcome to episode 21 of the Say Michael podcast, one man's attempt at business, family, and comedy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. We're here at episode 21, and I'm so glad you're here to join me because I'm not in it alone. Thank you, listener. And I hope that this is your new favorite episode. It's an interesting one. I am your host, Michael Aigbedion, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm humble and gracious to be here. I also want to first start with giving send my prayers towards George Floyd and his family. My prayers go out to him. He was a Minneapolis man who was, I guess, a victim of police brutality. Police had him handcuffed to his back, on his stomach, with a knee to his neck, and that ended up in his tragic death. That has outraged a lot of people, including myself. It sickened me because we still experience these things. You know, Kaepernick knelt for this particular issue, and people had issues with him kneeling. And I wonder how people have issues with this type of kneeling. You know, on someone's neck who's completely defenseless, unarmed, and ending up in his death. And it's just sickening because it was all filmed. And even while I was watching it happen, it was a 10-minute, 15-minute video. And when you're watching it happen, you think, if I was him or if I was there, what could you do? What could you possibly do? Because it's not like you could go at the police officer, because you could end up dead, you know, and it's not like you can intervene in any type of way. You become powerless when there's someone who's abusing their power to that limit. And you know, this is a human rights issue, and I want us to refocus our efforts on the goals that we need to see met, so there's proper consequences to these things happening. Because it's not that this is the last. You know, this is not the last of this ever happening. You know, but we have to refocus our efforts to make sure that these things don't happen again. But then if they do, that there's proper consequences to this happening. Because the gentleman who was kneeling, you know, put his knee to his neck, he has, at least at the time of him being fired, he hasn't been charged. I know there's 4 police officers who were fired due to this. And, you know, the actual officer who, you know, murdered him, you know, he hasn't been charged and he hasn't been arrested. So the fact that 24 hours have gone by and he hasn't, and no consequences have happened to him other than him being fired, is that's a failure. So you see these things that are happening, that's something that needs to be changed as well. But, you know, when you see these riots that are going to happen, and, you know, during the election, this is going to be a top issue of the election, of what's going to be done in response to this type of issue, this disgusting issue. We have to make sure that they're listening, because they hear you. You know, they're like, yeah, we hear you, but we're not listening. That's what's happening right now, is that, you know, as you scream and you post and you share and you hashtag, they're like, yeah, we hear you, but we're not listening. So we have to make sure that we say things and that we have clear goals to make people listen, because that is, you know, irrefutable when you have a clear goal, and whether it's met or not met. That's really what it breaks down to. And, you know, I just want to give prayers out to him and his family that they heal, and that this nation heals. And this is coming on the heels of Ahmaud Arbery. This is coming on the heels of a pandemic. And there's a lot of confusion out there. Outside is weird. Outside is weird, really weird. So the fact that all these things are happening is shocking, you know, and think something will be done about this one. Enough is enough when it comes to, constant, police brutality situations. And I mean, in the last 5 years, police brutality, or at least police killings in this nation, hasn't gone down. So I'm not saying it's gone up, but it's stayed pretty pretty leveled. You're looking at over 1,000 people killed and murdered per year by police, and having the highest incarceration rate of any nation in the world. Even of the other top top three nations below ours combined. So the fact that we have so many people in jail, we have police brutality, something has to change. And one of the things that we need to focus on is clear goals. And if those clear goals that we have are being met, because this doesn't affect just black people, it affects all minorities and anybody who could be taken advantage of in this country. We just need to make a change. So whatever I could do to help, or whatever you could do to help, please do, because this is important. This is important not only to us now, but to everyone in the future, because you don't want this. No one thinks it's going to happen to them until it happens. I don't think George woke up that morning thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to have a situation with a police officer today. I don't think he woke up like that. So he didn't deserve to die, especially the way that he did on camera. It's very unfortunate. So prayers go out to him. But on other news with the Water Boys, guess who hit your boy up? If you've been listening to these past episodes, especially Signs of Impoverished Mind and your last first impression, which is so far the most popular episode, we have Kevin, who, if you remember, let me kind of jog your memory. He was the employee who felt that I was, because he was going to work, that I was keeping him from doing skin to skin with his newborn baby that he didn't, know that was coming. And this morning he texted me inquiring if he could have his job back. And I have not responded to him. He sent me 3 texts, first asking if there's a way that he could reapply for the job. And then he sent me another text saying, like, there's a way he could talk to me. And then the third text was, please let him know. And I don't know what he's going through or whatever. I haven't responded yet, but that's a hard no. That's a hard no. There's no way he's coming back. And it's because that's exactly how burned bridges work. This is how burned bridges work. When you burn down a bridge, you can't go back. That's why it's called a burnt bridge. So him leaving in the middle of a job, and actually like me physically, like me being there and him arguing with me, leaving in the middle of a job, the way that he left, and, for him to try to get his job back, a few months later, not going to happen. And, it's funny because this always happens. I'm not saying I'm special, even though I am. It's to say that when someone quits due to a rash decision or just having a bad day, and then a few weeks later, a few months later, sometimes a few years later, they ask for their job back. But you can't undo it because you should have prevented it from happening to begin with. If you had quit properly due to a situation that you had at work, I will be fine with entertaining the fact that you want to come back. But the fact that you left the way that you left, and you think that I should be foolish enough to bring you back based on the fact that you are going through a particular situation, not going to happen. I'm telling you, I have situation after situation happen with previous employees who just leave, try to play me in some way. And I consider myself one of the best employers out. And the reason why is that I feel like I can relate to all my employees. I worked in what I do with the car wash from the very beginning, from the very bottom, to where I'm at now, to actually employ others. And whenever they have an issue, the issue is worked out next day. I don't wait on issues that are communicated to me. I actually execute very quickly based on feedback. So whether customers have issues or whether it's an employee or something they feel it needs to change with the business, or people have suggestion for improvement or feedback, it happens pretty quickly. Just because communication is that important to me. And when you leave an employer that you could not only relate to, but that also addresses your problems very quickly, when you go back out there, you're not going to find anything. The grass isn't greener. The grass is not greener. And they always leave thinking that, okay, I'm just going to go. He was even saying before he left, he said, oh man, that's why I need to start my own business, man. That's why I need to start my own business. I'm like, all right, that's how you feel. More power to you. But you still can't handle situations like this. So, unfortunately, Kevin won't be coming back. There's no way that will happen ever. And unless he had a friend named Kevin, that's someone else named Kevin. But that particular Kevin, nope, that's not coming back. But today is supposed to be a historic day because SpaceX and NASA, who are partnering in this space flight to go to the International Space Station, is happening. They say it's historic. They said the last time we sent, a manned spacecraft into orbit or into space was 9 years ago, in 2011 with Atlantis. And I don't know if that is historic because 9 years, that's not that long ago. But it is the first manned space mission with SpaceX, meaning that they're getting closer and closer to Elon Musk's goal, which is to send humans to Mars. And I could just imagine how that's going to be when, we start inhabiting Mars, or if that ever happens. But, when that happens, when something like that happens, it's definitely going to be, if Dallas is a place, where a pay to play type place, imagine Mars. Man, the privilege that's going to go on at Mars. Oh man. Cause if Mars was to be the next place that we go to, Earth is going to be a wasteland. Earth is going to be the ghetto. That's what it's going to end up being. Earth is going to be the ghetto. Cause they're going to be like, hey, we're at Mars. And you're like, hey, can we go to Mars? It's like, I'm sorry, it's too expensive. And it's clean here. Y'all ruined Earth, so you got to stay there. It's like, no, I thought you contributed to that. It's like, no, I'm at Mars. This is a whole new life. But congrats to Elon Musk. They said everything's supposed to go on plan. I doubt that it will because there's weather issues. So hopefully, everything could go smoothly with this launch. I don't want to see anything crazy. I don't think anybody wants to see anything crazy. So prayers out to them too, because we want to make sure that we take ourselves to the next level, and this does it. So big applause to them. But I can't give a big applause to Chuck E. Cheese, aka Pasqually's Pizza and Wings. Are you familiar with Pasqually's Pizza and Wings? Listen to the name, Pasqually's. And okay, what's happening is there's a lot of big chains that are masking themselves as like local businesses during this pandemic, because what you hear a lot with this whole pandemic is support your local business. So all these chains like Applebee's, Chili's, Chuck E. Cheese, they're like, okay, how do we make money if we can't get local support? So what they did is that they created these virtual kitchens, these online only kitchens, under a different name. So, when you are locally in, let's say, Irving, Texas, or Frisco, that you're like, oh, well, why try to go to Chili's when we could support our local business, Pasqually's Pizza and Wings? And that is their play to try to be a part and try to make money. And it's not a dumb play, but it's interesting because like Applebee's, theirs is called rotisserie roast and neighborhood wings. So rotisserie roast and neighborhood wings are Applebee's, and that's how they're creating a local presence in places so they can still do business. It's unfortunate, because Chuck E. Cheese pizza is good. I must admit, all that cheap pizza, don't sleep on cheap pizza like CC's, not CC's. CC's is cool. That's a buffet. Little Caesars pizza, fire. Pizza Patron, not good at all. I don't like that at all. Because it's kind of like cardboard, unfortunately. Then you have Chuck E. Cheese, which their pizza, man, their cheese pizza is fire. So I wouldn't mind having a Pasquallys. I need to actually look if we have Pasquallys near us, because I know it's like deceitful. It's not illegal what they're doing. It is deceitful, but I would like some Pasquallys right now, because their cheese pizza, so delicious. But yeah, if you're listening and watching this, if you may see some different changes happening in the future, because the race to videos and monetizing them is starting to happen, because you hear about Spotify and Joe Rogan and them trying to take the first step into being a podcasting platform that supports video podcasting. Now you have it that Instagram is not going to start paying their influencers, because they will start monetizing their IGTV. So when you do IGTV, they will have ads on the IGTV, and the influencer or whoever is putting up the video, we get a 55-45 split. So that's what's happening. Then they're also going to start doing badges, where if you put on your live video a badge, it's almost like a virtual tip jar. So when you're watching a video of someone doing live, you could put $1 in. You could just hit the badge. You'll put $1. You'll put $5 in. You'll put $10 in. And that influencer or whoever's doing the live video gets to keep 100% of it. So this will be rolling out in the next few, I think, weeks or a few months. So that's super interesting that they're getting into that. Finally monetizing their video platform. I can't say that IGTV's great, and I mean IG needs to fix a lot of things when it comes to like their searchability, because if you're gonna be looking on when you're on YouTube and you put something that you're searching for, it gives you a list of videos that are precise to what it is that you're searching. That's the luxury of having Google behind you. But with Instagram, when you're looking for something, it's really hard to find anything that you're looking for. Even when it comes to comments within comments, you got to keep pressing buttons. So I mean, like when there's someone who comments, and there's like 40 comments below it, you got to keep hitting the comment button to see each one, and it's annoying. So Instagram needs to improve and all those things, but I do see that they're making progress into making sure that they monetize the videos that are on there. So, but when that happens, I will start including the podcast on Instagram. But I do wonder how that would, like, who would watch an entire podcast of an hour plus on Instagram? I feel like Instagram is something for like pictures and quick videos, anything less than a minute. But I mean, I guess this is going to be, a new frontier for them, more success to them. Hopefully that ends up happening. Also, HBO is dropping their new platform. They're trying to rival Disney Plus and Netflix. And I must also say about the whole Disney Plus is that Disney Plus didn't end up being what I thought it was going to be. When they had Mandalorian on there, fire. I love Mandalorian. Me and my wife watched it. Oh, we were like, another episode. It was every Friday. It was like, another episode's coming on. Every episode was fire. Bill Burr was in there. So, he's one of my favorite comics. So he was in there playing a serious role. And that was the best part of of Disney Plus. And that pretty much, after Mandalorian stopped, I had nothing else to do on there. But Disney Plus did drop this new, what is it called? It's a new something vision where they could, they have a lot of sound. So it's almost like ASMR If you're familiar with ASMR, which is the sounds where people really are attracted to the certain sounds that they listen to through the microphone, but it's like that, but with their video. So that's what, Disney Plus is doing, but HBO is trying to battle out with them two with HBO Max. But I'm a little bit confused because you got HBO, then you got HBO Now, and then you have HBO Go, and then you have the fourth, HBO Max. And I guess Max, you get everything, and then HBO Go, you get certain things, and HBO Now, you have, I think it's like for TV, and then HBO is just the network. So, too much, overkill. I think they just need to get rid of all the HBO Now, Goes, and Laters, and just have an HBO Max, And HBO Go was a better name than HBO Max. HBO Max, it kind of reminds me of like Crystal Pepsi. The name Crystal Pepsi just didn't pop, and it was never a success. Even though they tried to relaunch it, Pepsi tried to sneak a relaunch of Crystal Pepsi, and that failed again. I know they're gonna try it again in the future, thinking that people want clear Pepsi, but so HBO Max is coming. It's gonna be $15 an hour. I know Netflix, at least at the time of this recording, Netflix is charging $9 for the start, and HBO Max is gonna be charging $15, and they're gonna have some decent shows, Friends, Big Bang Theory. Never was a fan of that, but that's what's happening. I also would encourage anybody, that is going out to, or that's starting to go back into, work and all that, to kind of watch out for the weather, because during this pandemic, at least until we have a vaccine, you need to make sure that you're properly insured, because the bad weather that's coming and the storms that are coming. I know you remember Harvey, that happened, but a Hurricane Harvey, if that happened at a time like now, could be catastrophic. That's going to put a lot of people on the streets. And it's already happening where people are being put on the streets because of the moratorium that's lifting based on the renters, all over the nation, so renters. Okay. So I could put this all into context. If a big storm hit now and people are already struggling to keep, to not only keep their jobs, but to keep an income, to even keep their apartment or wherever they're living, and that, washes you out and you're not properly insured, that could send you to a homeless shelter. So, that could be crippling. So the main thing you want to just prepare for is make sure that you're properly insured. So if you do have a home, make sure that you have, flood insurance, if you're in a flood zone, because homeowners insurance doesn't cover that. So just a FYI, if you're ever going to get into a home, homeowners insurance doesn't cover floods. You have to have a separate insurance for that. So you can look for what programs there are for that. And then also you want to make sure that you have an emergency fund. I always talk about that. Make sure you have a good emergency fund that would keep you, above water for at least 6 months. And if you could do longer, more power to you. But you must have an emergency fund. Make sure that you're properly insured, and make sure you just prepare for the weather that's to come. But what I was saying before is that there is a tsunami that's coming, of evictions, because the moratorium for the whole pandemic of them not being able to evict renters, that is lifting in a lot of places. So in Houston, which already has a homeless problem, now they're going to have even more homeless people with these evictions, because a lot of people still don't have jobs. A lot of people aren't back at the income they're at. And that $1,200 stimulus check that America gave, that's poof, pow, gone. So, they said another stimulus is coming, but that could be in another month or two. So I just want everyone to be aware of what they could do to not put themselves in situations. And if you have anybody that you're familiar with that could be at risk, the main thing that you want to, I guess, if you want to help them, is not only could you open your home if you're that gracious, but then also if you can let them know or inform them of the moratoriums and where the federal moratoriums are, so they know their rights and that they can't be evicted. But this will be happening. Eviction is probably one of the easiest ways to get people out of apartments, aside from them breaking their lease. And the reason why is these landlords want their people out if they can't pay, because they just want someone else. Because there's a line when it comes to shelter. So obviously, if the person that is late, or if you want to make renovations to the place and the person doesn't want it to happen, it's easier just to evict the person than it is to go about it the proper way. So I hope that everyone is prepared for that, and that they're aware of their rights, and that they're going to be a little bit more proactive as far as from keeping these things happening going forward. Also, Dallas business, so unfortunate. Tuesday morning, I like Tuesday morning. If you're not familiar with Tuesday morning, it's kind of like a Ross. It's kind of like a Ross, or like a Kohl's almost, but for like houseware, kind of in that area. And they filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 11. They're going to close like 200 stores, which is unfortunate. This is a Dallas company, and they're gonna shut their doors. Not shut their doors, but they're gonna go through Chapter 11. I don't think they have to close the doors, finally, but that is happening with Tuesday morning. What else can I update you about that's happening and again, these things that I bring up on here are things that I talk about with everybody, so I would love for you to chime in and tell me what you think about particularly, some of these topics, and if there are things that you want me to, again, talk about, because I do get feedback, and I do get, things that people want to talk about, and I talk about them. But, there's a funny story about a guy named Eric Baker. If you're not familiar with who Eric Baker is, he is the co-founder of StubHub. And, so when he founded StubHub, he co-founded StubHub, made this huge business. And then his co-founder kicked him out, because eBay ended up buying StubHub. But then here's the crazy part. When they kicked him out, Eric Baker, he started like via GoGo, which is another app when it comes to, not app, but it's an international way of getting seats. But he started that, and it became huge. And then when eBay was having issues and like kind of going underwater, they said we need to sell off some of our non-core assets. So they were trying to sell off StubHub, and guess what? Eric Baker, who was kicked out, ended up buying it. But when did he buy it, and when did it close? He bought it for $4 billion. When did it close? It closed in like late February. So like it was kind of a weird vengeance story, because he finally got his original company back, but then it happened right before the whole pandemic situation took hold and kind of destroyed his business. So right now that business is going down for him. But I see that a lot. I saw that with Wunderlist. Wunderlist is one of my favorite apps. It's an app that you could kind of like watch out, not watch out, take care of your tasks. So it's like a good to-do list, and it organizes it real well. It works on any platform online, works with Apple. It was great. And then Microsoft purchased it, and then the previous owner of Wunderlist was begging to buy it back, because he felt that Microsoft wasn't doing a good job of leading and growing the business, and he was begging to buy it back, and Microsoft said, sorry, this is ours now. And now they changed it to, I guess, Microsoft To Do. And that same situation happened with Eric Baker with StubHub. So it's interesting that, a lot of these sales and of businesses, there's always like a little remorse when it comes to, like, I guess, seller's remorse when it comes to selling, like, man, I shouldn't have sold it, or, like, you want to I guess at least in, Eric Baker's case, he wanted that to get StubHub back, and he did, but he got it at such an awkward time. Yeah, he got it at such an awkward time. But also for comedy, I will be returning back to stage in a few weeks. Give it a couple weeks. I want things to kind of settle down. I know I'm gonna go on stage with a mask. I wonder how that's gonna go. But I could talk well through a mask, and then maybe I could use it as a prop for jokes. Who knows? But I will be going back on stage in a few weeks. I would love to see y'all out there to join me on stage, have a great time. I will be putting on, as events and event spaces start opening, I will be putting on shows. So, it did cause, this whole pandemic thing did cause a small delay, but we bike, man. We bike. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me on the first segment of episode 21. I hope it's a fun one for you. Always trying to give you the best and everything I got. And if there is anything that I could do for you, please let me know. Also, go to the go to the Apple Podcast, leave a review, leave some feedback. Again, it would be much appreciated. You can find me on all social networks as Say Michael on Twitter, tweet me. You can find me on Snapchat, Say Michael Jr., Say Michael Jr. on Facebook, Say Michael on Instagram. Yeah. So again, this is a great discussion, and I hope that you stay safe out there and enjoy this conversation with my best friend. See you later.
2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Hey.
What up?
How you doing?
Man, it's late.
It is late. This the latest we've ever done it.
I know. Boy's tired.
Yeah. You said this whole time you're gonna try to keep from yawning, right?
I'm gonna try. I ain't making no promises though.
Yeah, that's one of the rules. No yawning.
No yawning in this house.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't want you to think that I'm bored.
You don't want people to think it's bored.
Well, y'all too.
Feel like she don't even really want to be there.
No, I do, trust me, y'all, but I had a long day at work today.
The work was long.
Work was so long and it was so busy.
Wow, why?
People are spending their money.
Where are they going? What? I don't get it.
Oh, well, you saw what happened this weekend. They going somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
You know they going somewhere, and we sold out of like all the slides, all the sandals. They was going to somebody beach party, somebody pool party.
The new slides that y'all have, why are they so fire? Like why are so many people after those?
I think because they're just different. Something that, not everybody has, because people want to be different. So they go for the new ones.
So y'all haven't really been slow at all. So you're seeing...
Since we opened, no.
Wow.
We've been doing close to double what we've done last year.
You think it's because the way that they're doing y'all's schedule?
I mean, there could be, but I feel like it's more like retail therapy for some people. I feel like they've been stuck in the house for so long and they're just like, well, I want to treat myself. I want to treat myself to something nice, And, my birthday was in April and I couldn't celebrate. So I want to treat myself to something nice.
What do you think about that? Is that like a bad thing or that's okay?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. If you got it, then that's fine, But some people, they come and they buy and then they get buyer's remorse and they come back like a week later after they posted their pictures on Instagram and they come and return it.
Did y'all see anybody during, did you see anybody like trying to return stuff, trying to get their money back? Like, when it all started?
Oh yeah, of course.
People like, hey, I didn't really need this $2,000 bag. You saw that?
Oh yeah. It was happening before we even opened the store. Oh. All of my clients would hit me up like, hey, I want to return this bag. I changed my mind. First of all, our return policy is 14 days. Mm-hmm. And you bought this in January. Yeah. And you want to return it? Oh, okay. Oh, you don't like it anymore? Oh, okay.
So it's weird because, when the whole COVID-19 joint started and some people jumped ship, Yeah. So it happened with me with the car wash. Some people were like, hey, Michael, so someone told me specifically they have a membership and they were like, hey, Michael, we want to kind of put our membership on pause, not because, about the money or anything. They said that specifically, not about the money. we want to actually create like a activity. You know, I think it'll be a good activity for our sons to wash our cars.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Give them like a chore to do since they're not in school. I mean, why not?
Yeah, and so I felt that was like a good reason. You know, anybody can blame. I even said in the previous podcast about like COVID-19, like the get out of jail free card. Like you could just say, hey, due to COVID-19, I'm gonna have to, make my way out. Or
oh my goodness.
But no one's gonna really say that when it comes to luxury items.
No,
because it's about the look.
Exactly. I mean, you have to show people that you have money, so you don't want people to think that you're struggling during this time. So you got to make people think that because we have people that buy and they return a few days later, they'll buy a whole outfit. And you already know they're just going home, posting the pictures on Instagram, and then they come back and return.
Whoa, it's like that?
Yeah. There's one time this lady, she bought like a $5,000 gown and she wore it to an event, red carpet, everything. Posted the pictures on her Instagram, came back the next day and returned it.
What?
Yeah, a gown. And we couldn't really find...
but you can't really prove it, right?
Exactly.
Hold on. How'd y'all know that she posted it?
Because we checked her Instagram after she returned it. So when she left, we were like, what's her name on that receipt? And we looked it up.
Wow.
Yeah. She wore it on a red carpet event in Dallas and returned it the next day.
But you can't really do nothing about that, right?
No, you really can't. I mean, you're not supposed to wear it and return. If it shows wear, we can't take it back. But if we can't prove it, then,
Yeah, Amazon... I think Amazon. Well, okay. Look, a lot of people don't know the when you go online to start selling things, people are like, oh, you save because you don't have the store or brick and mortar.
Right, right.
But the biggest thing is they said they have where they have chronic shoppers, you have chronic returners.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
People who just constantly buy and return, and they try to create like a restriction on it. Y'all would never do something like that, or
no?
Have y'all tried it?
I brought it up to my manager one time because we have a few clients who do that.
Like chronically return.
They will buy and then they will come back and exchange, constantly switching out for something different. And after the third time, we're like, okay, can't do it anymore. But that's not like a real rule.
It's not a policy limit on it. But they're taking advantage. And one time we had to call this lady out. We're like, look, you need to stop doing that because that's messing with our money. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know, because we really had to call it because she kept doing it. And then even today I was helping this lady for like an hour and a half. She had 2 receipts. And it showed how many times she came into the store, returned and bought. And I was stuck with her for like an hour and a half. And she ended up returning something and then buying something. And then we ended up it's just a headache, just like people be doing the most. So when it comes to, okay, when I was on, I was on the phone like this last week with that Zoom call.
Oh yeah.
And I was telling them about the whole reopening and all that, and they were just so shocked by how we're reopening.
Man, it's crazy.
I never even asked you. I don't even know exactly how it goes when it comes to people who come in and out your store. You only could let in how many, like 25% or something like that?
Well, we don't even do it by percentage. We do it like 12 people, and that's including us. So already it's 5 of us who work there, and then the rest are customers. So we only let in like 7 customers at a time.
Yeah.
So
okay, so you let in 7. So what? Let's say you had 10 customers. There's 3 that are outside in a line.
Yeah, we have a line. Yeah, we have people in line, and we're connected to the Westin Hotel. If you guys ever been to Dallas Galleria, the line is from our store to the hotel. Like this past Saturday, or Friday, whatever day I worked, mall security had to come and say, how long is the wait? Because people are in line and this line is too long. Like we need to, get some of these people in the store because it's disrupting the traffic in the mall. And we're like, I mean,
what you gonna do?
Like they're gonna have to wait if they want to come in. And the people who waited in line for about an hour, they bought. Like every single person that came in bought.
Oh, I bet more people buy because of the time they spend.
Yeah, in line.
Yeah, because if you just could come in and browse and go in and out, then that means like you could use your time like wisely because you said, okay, I'm just gonna be in there 5 minutes.
Right.
But since you're waiting in line, okay, that's already 5 to 20 minutes, right?
Exactly. No, people are in line longer. The wait time is usually like 30 to 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, the wait time is really, because it's like if you stand in line for 30 minutes, when you come in, you're going to take your time.
Yeah.
And you already know we petty. So when I say we as in black people, we petty. We like, well, I waited in this line this long. I'm sitting up in here for as long as I'm telling you, this guy today, he was only in line. He was extra petty. He was only in line for like 15 minutes. He was in the store, tried on maybe like 10 to like 13 pairs of shoes. Then he took a conference call, was on the conference call for like 25 minutes. And I'm looking like, you need to get out, because at this point, he didn't even buy the shoes yet. He was just like, hold on, I need to take this call. Like, and we couldn't really let people in, because we're letting people, like, once people leave, then we let other people in. So he's taking up space. Yeah. But he wanted to, look, he was being petty.
I remember like a restaurant when they want to rotate those tables.
That's how we're doing it.
So do y'all, when people wait out in the line, is it 6 feet each?
Yes. So we have it by 6. We have the ground taped.
Oh, okay.
We have the ground taped outside. So yeah.
And do you have people who complain and get upset?
Oh yeah. Yeah. People peek their head in. People just try to walk in, and we're like, I know you see that line. They're like, yeah, we got out the line. I'm like, well, you need to get back in. You just lost your place. Like, yeah, some people try to bully us so they can get in the store.
Yeah, there's a gas station where they didn't want to take people's cash from their hand. So what they would do is that whatever the charge was, if they're paying cash, they have to put it in this bucket.
A bucket?
Yeah, like a little, like almost like a to-go plate. Like not to-go plate.
The tray?
Like a Tupperware.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a Tupperware. This old white guy, big, huge, long beard, like, Dumbledore. What's that one guy
on Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Dumbledore? Is it Dumbledore?
I don't know.
I just watched all that yesterday and I can't even think of it.
So he had a long beard like that, looked kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then so when they said, if you're going to pay in cash, put it in that whatever little bucket thing, right? So he gets upset, and then he licks the dollar, rubs it all under his shirt, and then throws it in there and walks off pissed off. Yeah.
First of all, you know how many hands touched that dollar that you just licked because you were upset because you didn't want to throw it in the bucket? Yeah. So you, sir, you might have coronavirus. You got some disease off that dollar. Yeah. That is so nasty.
It's so crazy. And, but people are getting upset with the rulings on things,
They could get upset all they want. I'm still going to wear my mask. I'm still going to wear my gloves.
But is it working out for y'all, though?
I mean, it is, yeah. Well, you have to wear a mask to get in the mall. Some people think once they get into the stores, they can take their mask off. So we're constantly having to remind people, sir, ma'am, can you put your mask back on? And then the social distancing, they're not even doing that.
Yeah, that's already out the door.
Yeah, that's out the door. So we have to keep reminding them like, hey, can you try not to shop in that area right now? Because that area is already a little too packed. They'll go anywhere.
Do you feel safe?
Care. I feel safe because I'm protecting myself. With me wearing the mask and wearing the gloves, and I'm always washing my hands. I mean, if y'all see my hands right now, they're peeling. It's kind of gross. So I'm constantly washing my hands and hand sanitizing, even though I'm still wearing the gloves. So I feel like, I'm safe and my coworkers are, because we're constantly spraying down the registers. Everything the customers touch, the iPads, we're spraying everything.
So y'all being really mindful.
We are. We are.
That's important now not to forget, because, it could, you're a little bit, some people are just exhausted by the whole.
Yeah, I mean, we're over it. We wear that mask for like 9-10 hours a day. You can't breathe. You're out of breath, because we're talking to customers back and forth, and it's just really difficult. It's really difficult. But like I said last time, I can't, I should not complain at all, but it's really difficult. And I feel like customers don't even care sometimes.
That what?
That we're wearing the mask, because they're asking us to grab 10 pairs of shoes for them. So we're running back and forth, and we got this mask on and we're breathing heavy, and they're just like, I'm sorry. I got you working hard. You know what? My bad. But I hate to ask, but can you grab me 2 more shoes? I'm like,
but tell me, why would they want you to, why would they feel bad for y'all and not get those extra shoes?
Yeah, but they don't be buying it though.
so
that's what be making me mad.
So you're talking about the non-buyers?
Yeah, the non-buyers, or the ones who have you go grab them $1,500 sneakers, knowing they only came in the store to buy $200 pairs of slides. Now look, $200 pairs of slides, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. But I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
You know what you came in here for. Don't have me doing all this work. Don't have me doing all this work. It's just annoying. It's frustrating. If you work retail, you get it.
Yeah.
You know?
So, but the masks make an extra layer of hard work.
Yeah, that's like going to work with weights strapped on your back. Like you are really breathing heavy. I know you were telling me that a guy
his lungs collapsed. No,
yeah, he died.
Yeah, did he die?
You told me. I don't know. See,
I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure.
News.
No, I'm not sure if he died, but I know that they said his lungs.
Lungs collapsed.
His lungs collapsed.
He was running with the mask.
Yeah.
See, and we run back and forth all day for 10 hours.
They don't run literally though.
Well, we don't run. We walk fast. You know, our clients they want it now. You know, so it's a lot of like pacing back and forth, and yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, and I would think that we would get used to it by now, but no, I'm not used to it.
Well, I know. I was asking you how you feel because now I get a better understanding of how it is. You know, for you at work. Nothing's really changed with us, you know. How it goes.
Yeah, I don't get to wear no mask.
But I come, on this particular episode with a lot to get off my chest though. Mm-hmm. Because
what's that?
Today was a heavier day than I expected it to be.
Why so?
Because, first, okay, I saw this news about the girl. What's her name? Amy Cooper.
The one that they call Karen.
Yeah, Karen.
I saw that.
Yeah, in Central Park.
Yeah. And, so that was in New York.
Yeah, it's a place called Ramble in New York, in Central Park. I guess it's like a place.
Like a park or trail.
Yeah, it's the famous Ramble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but, basically it's illegal for you to have your dog unleashed.
Okay.
You have to leash your dog.
Right.
And then this black guy tried to tell this white girl, that, hey, who had her dog off her leash, said, hey, he asked politely, can you put your dog on a leash? And she got really upset. And then after that, her getting upset that he even asked her, or I guess had the audacity to even ask her, she made like a threat saying that I'm going to call the police. I'm going to tell them that you're threatening me and my dog.
But she wanted to specifically say, I'm going to call the police and say that this African-American man is threatening me and my dog.
And then he says, you can say whatever you want.
Right.
And then he's recording this whole time. She hops on the phone, calls 911.
Yeah.
And then she starts, weaponizing her tears.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And, I saw that was the first story, and I was just kind of like, oh, what is happening here? Because, it was weird because that's all, I wanted to tell you is like, I feel like I get that when it came to, and I never really wanted to say it because it sounds like an excuse to why you don't succeed in certain areas in business, but I know in our past, that was like certain Karens weaponizing their tears when they don't get their way happen a lot. Yeah. I mean, a lot. And I feel like that is probably why it's an added layer of why it's difficult for Black people to do business and be successful at it.
Right.
Because when it comes to like a certain level of harassment, you have to just condone it, or you have to do what they say. Because it's like, when someone extorts you, extortion, that's what it is. They'll extort you with a bad review, or they'll extort you with telling management, or they'll extort you with telling your boss or whatever it is if they don't get their way. And, unfortunately in this society, when you are Black, or just any minority really, but especially Black, when someone, especially if they're white, says something about you, and it actually comes off as if you're always at fault.
Right, exactly.
It's always like the older brother and the little brother. The younger brother's never at fault. It's always the older brother.
Exactly.
So it's almost like that benefit of the doubt that you give to the customer, but really you're almost defenseless. You don't know what to do, and these are times where you're like, okay, what could he have done? And imagine if he didn't have that recorded. But
the thing is, okay, what if the wrong police officer showed up at the right time for him? You know what I mean? Like, I think the police officer showed up and they were already gone. Yeah. The woman, Amy, and then the Black guy, they had already left the park. But let's say if they were there and he had the recording and the police officer just felt like being stupid that day. Like, this lady was okay with him being killed, basically.
Yeah.
She was okay with that because she was like, well, I'm going to call the police and say that this black man is threatening me.
that
you know what I mean?
type of, what do you call that type of threat? You know what I mean? It's like
it's just so disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, like the way she said it was like, because you know what's happening with police officers and black men. So the way she said it was like, I'm going to let them know that a black man is threatening me. Okay, and then a police officer shows up and shoots him and kills him because all he did was ask you, hey, can you follow the rules, basically? You know what I mean? It's just so disgusting.
Yeah, and then when she was on the phone, she first, reacted completely different than how she reacted. Okay, first she was already choking the dog that she was with. So she was just, I guess, just enraged so much that she's picking up this dog by the collar.
But
and the dog's choking. You can visibly see that the dog is choking.
Right.
And then it gets to a point to where the dog is so uncomfortable that she finally like leashes it at the end.
Exactly.
While she's on the phone screaming, saying like, "Please help me! This African American man is threatening me and my dog. Please get someone here right now." She's screaming.
So crazy.
And then she clips the leash on the neck, and then he's like, "Thank you," and then he stops recording.
That's so, oh my God.
Yeah, and it's sad because the consequences. And look, it's a luxury to have a phone, right? So, and I call it like a first world luxury,
right?
And to have the phone working and connected and internet, all that, the whole nine. So when you have the opportunity to record these, situations, imagine the times that people don't have a recording.
Right, exactly.
And you have to take one word to the other, and then you think of it and you said, that person brought it to them. I wonder, they're saying, I wonder how he asked her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Did he ask her in a way that was polite? Maybe he was being aggressive. And you know what I mean? There's all these different type of, conclusions you could jump to.
True, but I mean, at the end of the day, okay, say if he did say with like a little attitude, her dog needs to be on a leash. I don't know if he was there with his dog. I read the article. He's like a bird watcher or something. So I'm not sure if he was there with his dog, but maybe he felt threatened that her dog wasn't on the leash, and he could have been like, "Look, your dog keep coming over here messing with my dog. I need you to put your dog on the leash." He could have said it with a little attitude, but at the same time, like, her dog should have been on the leash. I don't know.
So what do you think should happen? Because she's already lost. No, she didn't lose her job. She lost a dog.
Yeah, she lost the dog because she adopted it.
Yeah, which I think she's probably okay with,
Well, the way she was treating that dog, she probably is okay with it.
Yeah, and then she's put on administrative leave at her office or job, or whatever.
Yeah.
But what do you think should happen? You think there should be a legal consequence to her actions?
Yeah, of course.
I do too.
Definitely.
It reminds me of it's not completely correlated to it, but it's similar. Of the people who, or certain women who, falsely claim rape upon men, but then nothing happens to them after they do that.
Right.
And I feel that in any of those particular cases, you could ruin someone's life. You could ruin their future, their career, whatever, just based on a false claim.
Exactly.
And I'm not sure what the consequence is on a false claim, but the way that she was going about it in this climate, there's so many like soft nuances here. You know what I mean? Because you have to understand it culturally. If you're not from here, you would think, okay, what's the big deal? She just lied. Or what's the big deal that this happens every day?
But the big deal is her lying could have gotten him killed.
And it's even sad,
not arrested, but killed.
Sad that you said that, because you said it could have gotten him killed. I'm pretty sure that there's been examples of people actually being killed based on false reports.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Over and over. Emmett Till was like that.
Right, exactly.
Man.
That's the name that was going through my brain this entire conversation.
For real, Emmett Till?
Yeah. Because she lied. And then what? Before she died?
Yeah, she
admitted that she lied? Oh, seriously, lady?
Yeah.
Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah,
Did she think admitting, her sins, she was going to go straight to heaven?
Yeah, I know. That's awkward.
She was like on her deathbed. Yeah, she's like, I lied. And then she just died. And you see her spirit just go up to heaven. Like, girl, no, you're going right down there, straight to the bottom.
That's privilege too.
Yeah, straight up privilege.
Man, okay. So that was the first article I got. So I was just like,
that was early this morning.
yeah, early
too.
this morning.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a shame. That's what I thought, right? And then midday, this huge bomb dropped, which is George Floyd.
Okay.
And this is horrible. I hate that I have to repeat it. But I talked to my dad about it. You know, I talked to my sister about it. But George Floyd, I guess there was a call. This is in Minnesota, so Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
And there's a call to a bar or somewhere for, you know, like a fraudulent document or something like that. This was Monday night. So this is Monday evening. This is yesterday.
So yesterday, okay.
Yeah, and you know, when the police came, they apprehended him. They said he was under the influence.
Okay, because he was at a bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it is a bar. But I'm taking it as, you know, it being a bar.
Gotcha.
And I actually have the story right here. So after I explain, oh, here's my phone here. Yeah. And you know, they apprehended him, you know, when he's under the influence, and while he's handcuffed, laying on his stomach on the asphalt, you know, between a tire, like his head between the tire, the police officer has his knee like angled right into his neck. And this was going on for at least almost like 20 minutes where he's leaning in, and you know, the guy's defenseless. He's not, you know, he's not fighting back.
Yeah.
And this is all being recorded.
But he's handcuffed.
Yeah, he's handcuffed.
So why?
With his hands behind his back.
Right.
Laying on his stomach.
And the police officer felt like he should dig his knee into his neck.
Pin him down on his neck. Mind you, as soft as your neck is.
Yeah, and on the ground. On cement.
Yeah, and
oof.
So he has his, you know, knee there, and the guy is begging for air. You know.
Yeah.
It reminds you a lot of the whole Eric Gardner. You know, the whole I Can't Breathe.
Right.
Which was about 5 years ago.
Ooh, was it that long ago?
It might have been. I think it's around
maybe,
there.
Yeah.
Where he was selling loose cigarettes, and then they put him in a legal chokehold.
Right.
And then he ended up saying, I can't breathe, and he ended up dying.
Right.
You know, so this was very reminiscent of that, you know, situation. And, you know, he has his knee, and you know, all these people around, and, you know, people who are recording are saying, hey, you're on this guy's neck. You need to get out. He said, that's a move like I do. When the guy said, like, I do jujitsu or whatever, and that's a death move, and you know, you could really hurt that guy. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Kept talking, and then there's his partner who was kind of like being an asshole too. He was kind of between the guy, you know, who's being, you know, with the knee in his neck, and then the crowd, or as the crowd started to build, and you know, he has, you know, his hands crossed, you know, just kind of like trying to be hard. You know, being an asshole to everybody who's like trying to, like, you know, I wouldn't say confront, but like intervene. And they kept begging. People started begging. People started screaming, like, let that guy go. Yeah. And then next you know, the guy's lifeless, like he's not moving, and he still has his knee in his, you know, throat.
Man. And
eventually, the paramedics get there. Even the paramedics had to tap him to get his knee off.
Are you serious? Yeah. It's like he blacked out or something.
Yeah, it has to be that. It has to be that. This was longer. This guy must have been under so much stress and must have been so incredibly out of it. Yeah. That, you know, I don't know. But the sad part, which is really hard because you haven't seen the video, which I don't think you're ever going to see it. My sister's never going to see it because even talking to my sister about it, she's crying. Yeah. My dad, he's talking about, you know, he feels like it's open season for young black males. And he's telling me, like, you know, I didn't grow up in a way where my dad was like, or my parents were like, you need to watch out for the police or anything like that. No, you know, so I never really got that talk. And then after all this police brutality started happening about, I'll say, at least on a heavier scale, like 15 years ago, then he started like mention it, like, hey, when the police come, just put your hands on the steering wheel, you know, don't say anything, you know, just cooperate. But then now he's scared, you know, he's saying, look, you know, they're looking for any reason to take your life. Right. You know, they're looking for any reason, like, and I'll ask my dad, I was like, okay, when he was down with that knee in his neck, what could people have possibly done? He says nothing. What they're gonna kill you next, you know? Right. So you think in a time where someone is abusing their power, and you're seeing it right in front of you. What could be done? What do you think?
I don't know. I think the whole situation is just so sad. For the paramedics to come and tap and be like, get off of this man. Like, you need to get, like, so his partners were just standing there not doing anything.
Yeah, they're, because it's like you're complicit. Like, you're there and you're in a stressful situation.
Yeah.
So you don't want to. I see it all the time in those videos where the partner is going too hard.
Right.
But then you can't show weakness. I put that in quotes. You can't show weakness when it comes to going against what your partner's doing. You might be able to do it in private when everyone's not looking, but when people are recording and things are happening, I think what they're thinking is we can't do anything that's going to show fault on our side.
And see, I would think that's the time for you to stand up against your partner, because you would look like a hero to everybody who's recording. That's what I would think. If your partner is doing something like that, where he's putting his knee in this man's throat and everybody's like screaming like, hey, get off of him, he can't breathe, I would think as his partner, or co-workers, to be like, stop, you need to stop, get off of him. Because I know that the people around would be like, thank you, like, thank you for saving this man's life. But you're just so worried about how you might look to your partner. You might seem weak to your partner, so you're not gonna say nothing.
I think it's a police thing.
I don't know. That just sounds weak and whack.
Yeah. But I think it is a police thing where, like, if I show or say or whatever, that's almost snitching, dry snitching in a way of saying like, hey, chill out. That's showing that he is doing something wrong. If someone's recording, you say, hey, calm down.
Right.
Then they're gonna say, look, he tried to calm him. Like, it shows proof that something's not right. So I think they try to make it to where what he's doing is legal.
I could see that.
You know what I mean? Is what he's doing is legal. Don't worry about it. We have it under control.
Right.
Even though he knows that his partner is doing something incorrect or doing something wrong. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not gonna, confront him in front of all these other people, and especially while they're recording.
And they recorded this man dying.
Yeah, but see,
that's horrible.
I saw another video, and I didn't understand it. Someone shared this on social media. It's on their story, and this is last night, and it was a video that was from August 2019. It might be 2018, but I'm pretty sure it's 2019. And I didn't know this at first, but I'm watching the video, and there's this guy, this black guy, and the police officer has a gun drawn towards the black guy who's in the driver's seat, and it's a young black guy, and the police officer has body cam on. Okay. So then he's like, put your hands up, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, the guy, the kid who's driving is apologetic. Right. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, where's your ID? She's like, I'm so sorry. Then do 3 shots, killed him. What? And then after he killed him, he screams out to the dead body. He says, stop right there. We're trying to help you. Yeah.
Fool, you got on a whole body camera.
Yeah. So, but it's at night. It's a little dark. So he wanted to put it in a position where, okay, this person was resisting or doing something that's endangering us, but he trying to, kind of play the act. Yeah. And he shot. So I was like, okay, what the? I'd never seen that. I was like, what is this? So I looked at the date. It was last year. I said, last year?
I don't remember hearing about that.
I didn't either. So then I looked at the comments. All of them were recent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 5 seconds.
So maybe this video just came out or something.
I think it just came out. Yeah.
See, the only one I heard about in the guy who was killed in the car, I think he was with like his girlfriend and a baby in the back, and the police asked for like his driver's license and insurance and stuff.
And he had that particular guy had a gun license. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think he was going for his license or something to show the police officer, and he shot him right in front of his girlfriend and his child. Like, what? You asked this man for his driver's license. Yeah. And he reaches to get it, and you kill him.
But that happens multiple times. I've seen multiple videos of it. They say one guy had a gun at him, and he says, give me your license. And he's like, I'm getting my license. He's like, and then he grabs it and he's like, why'd you shoot me? And he's like shot. He's like, why'd you shoot me? We kept asking him, why'd you shoot me? Yeah. He said, I'm sorry, man. The police like, I'm sorry, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's like, but why'd you shoot me? You told me to get my license. She kept asking, why'd you shoot me? I think he got shot in the arm or something like that. And I was just like, man, this is on another level. Even man, example after example. There's the guy where the woman, this white woman driving, he was like, I need you to step out the car or whatever. And she's like, no, I don't want to step out the car. I'm nervous. I'm scared because, I see a lot of videos with, police, shooting people, and I don't want to be, caught up in anything like that. And he's like, oh, are you black? Are you black? Because that's the only people we shoot, right? Yeah, you're not black. So what are you worried about? Yeah.
Wow.
And then
if he was being sarcastic, wow.
Yeah, that was I was like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, 3.5, 4 weeks ago.
See, with me not being on social media, I don't hear about nothing.
Yeah.
That's that's
so you
crazy.
got Ahmaud Arbery, and then you have this
Amy lady.
Amy, Karen, and then you have George Floyd, and you have example after example.
It's nonstop.
Yeah, it just gets.
Like when you get pulled over, just make sure you have your stuff ready. Mm-hmm. Like, don't go digging for nothing, because even they are telling you, give me your driver's license. I wouldn't even grab it.
But what do you think needs to change? Like, obviously, I'm not looking for.
Because I don't know. I mean, I think the training. I feel like the police academy. I don't know if it's really called an academy, but what are they training them to do?
Yeah, they're training them to shoot first. Like
That's
if you're
crazy.
in danger, shoot.
Okay, but you just shooting black people. So are they training that too? Because I don't hear about none of this happening to any other race but black people.
But the reason, as I feel, is that same thing happens in business, where you have a black customer versus a white customer. Is that when you have a black customer and they have an issue or something, you're thinking, who can you go to?
Yeah.
You're not going to go above and beyond
to
get me in trouble. You're not going to sue me. You're not going to do anything but just leave the store upset. Then you have a white person who gets upset. They'll take it above and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
They'll call your corporate. They'll call the management of the mall.
They'll serve some papers.
Yeah. They'll sue you. They'll take it to that level.
Right.
And it has a lot to do with resources. Where you have the resources to in the time. Let's say that as well.
Right.
So you have the time, money, and resources to get somebody in some level what you see perceived, trouble, to say, okay, you did this to me, watch this. But then when a black person comes in and said, oh, you're not treating me right, he's like, okay, well, what you gonna do?
Exactly.
Who you gonna tell? You know?
Right.
It's just like, I guess it's almost like a protocol, type thing. Like, I guess white people know, okay, I'm gonna take it to the top. I'm gonna, scream to the highest,
Yeah.
like I'm just take it to that level where someone's gonna reach out to you.
Right.
Whereas in, I guess more white people are like, all right, we could throw a hand.
Yeah. we be ready to fight.
Yeah,
that's how we solve our problems.
But it's yeah.
It's sad, the world we live in today, and it's even sad because we have two black boys. You know what I mean? And to pray that they don't have to go through this when they get older. Like, I almost don't even want them to drive. Like, I almost just want to like shelter them and keep them in that little bubble. You know what I mean?
That's so weird that you said that, because it's the first time I thought about that.
Really?
Yeah, about us having boys.
Yeah, I think about it. I always put them in these situations.
I never even connected that.
Every time it's always about a black man, I'm like, okay, we are raising two black boys. You know what I mean? Like, what makes them different from any other black boy? So it's just like, the police aren't saying, oh, well, you're a smart boy, or you come from this type of home, or your parents are a doctor, or, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter, like, where you come from, like, what education you have. If you're black and you are a boy, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's it, So I don't know. It's crazy to me. It really makes me nervous about our future as in like the world, because our black boys, like, I don't know. Like,
but I always think in a solution type way, like what could be done, like what, like, I think about that literally over and over and over, and I always get to a dead end where I'm like, okay, what could be done? But I do have an idea.
What's that? Share.
I feel that okay, this could be possibly a close solution to, helping, right?
Okay.
Which is when these situations happen, there is no, I mean, you see where they prosecute them and do all that, but, there's no consequence, like large financial consequence
Right.
to it. Like I know that people sue for like wrongful death and things like that.
Yeah.
But if there was some level of an institutional fine, where, every time,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
saying.
Every time
Yeah.
they violate, it bankrupt them.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So if it's like, okay, another violation, this is the fine for the violation.
Yeah.
Another violation, because the only reason it's weird is because it's tied to tax dollars.
Yes.
A lot of things like that.
Yeah.
But if they wrongfully do something or if they violate, I don't even think it should be where you have to get a lawyer and you should sue. I feel like there should be almost like a credit card dispute.
Yeah. Like not only just the person who's doing the killing, but the division they work for, or the department, or the city, or something like that.
Yeah, if you bankrupt them, then that means that I don't know what can happen if you. Can you bankrupt a police station? I don't think so.
I don't know. But then see, that's all tied to like the state and all that.
Yeah,
I feel
I know.
like everybody's just so corrupted.
Everyone's in on it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody's in on it. So
that's how, man, I talk all the time about the corruption as far as like police. Okay, police, they have to pull you over. They have to put out tickets.
Yeah.
In order for them to bring in tax dollars and revenue and money for the station.
Right.
So they do things like speed traps and they put themselves in certain areas where where crime will happen, or they set up things for crime to happen.
Right.
Because it creates a bankroll for their unit or for their department. So I feel like that's part of the corruption.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm like, I don't know what could be done.
Oh, what a tangle web we weave.
Man, it's just a hot mess.
Yeah. So maybe that, I don't know if that is a dead end idea. The one I said about the whole fine thing.
I think it just starts in the home. You know what I mean? I think as parents, we need to educate our kids about, the possibilities of what could happen if, even if you did like listen to the police, if you're doing exactly what they tell you,
you can still,
they still could shoot you. So
Ahmaud Arbery went down for like taking a jog.
See?
And that wasn't even the police. That was a former police officer who's trying to do a citizen's arrest.
Which I still don't understand that. If y'all heard the 2 or 3 podcast episodes before that, I was so confused. I was just like, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, I always, I always think of what could be done and what should be said, because there is a lot of talking, and you think, okay, where can we put action? Where can we put our energy and our money and our resources towards, so we could stop this?
Yeah.
I remember when Jay-Z said, I think we're done kneeling. That was about, remember the whole NFL.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. He said, I think we're past kneeling. That's what he said. I think we're past kneeling, and I'm not sure we are.
No. Well, Jay-Z up there mingling with the rest.
Yeah, but he says, how I think he meant it is, we're past kneeling. Let's put money towards, solutions.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, or money in action towards solution. I'm thinking, what next?
I don't know, but I feel like he faked too, because they actually, for real, they caught him, his wife, and Lil Blue Ivy. They were all at a game, and when it was time to stand for the national anthem, none of them did. They sat down. They were seated the whole time. And this was after he said what he said. So are we done kneeling or what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that would mean that that's a good thing though, right?
Yeah, but then he tried to make up some lie and say, oh, well, Blue wasn't feeling well, or some lie they had made up. I can't remember. You know how they be trying to cover up because they so private, but they had said something to make it seem like that's not what they were doing, but it was clearly that's what they were doing. They were just sitting down while everybody else around them was standing up, and I guess somebody who was standing behind them filmed it. So it's like, are we done kneeling? Were you guys kneeling? Like, what were y'all doing? You know what I mean?
I know if anybody's listening out there and anybody's watching out there, that this is probably a long, heavy conversation, but this is how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, this is really how, like, all today I was just like, man, this is heavy, because when these things happen, all you're constantly, because you're a part of it, know, and this is literally my experience, and I can't I can't get around it. You know, I always think like, okay, what would happen to me if I was in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Or just in the right place. You know what I mean? Because it's been a couple of times where, you know, we've gotten pulled over, or, you know, I've been on the phone with you and you've gotten pulled over. And I'm always like, okay, stay on the phone with me. Just listen to what he's like. I'm just praying the entire time. I'm like, okay, just.
You know how scared. So scary.
Right.
For it to be at night and a police says, like, and the police pulls you over and they're walking up to your window. You're like, please.
Exactly.
Please don't let this be some misunderstanding or some aggravated guy with a chip on his shoulder.
Or he just tired and he just want to go home, but he need that one more. You know what I mean? Like, you just on edge and you just stressed out when you get pulled over, because you just never know how this is going to end. You don't know if you're going to drive off and go home and be with your family, or, you know what I mean? The complete opposite.
Tell me what you think about this. And I actually want to see. Oh, I can't even find it anymore. It was actually Tyrone. He wrote something about how, like, where do you call home? You know, like, where do Black people call home when, you know, the society that we're in, you know, where they treat, you know, Black people like this, and where do we go? You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, at least for myself, I know, you know, where my parents are from, and they know where their parents are from and their grandparents.
Right.
And, you know, could you say the same?
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you're lost and that you don't have a place?
No, I mean, look, New Orleans is my birth. You know what I mean? My city, my home, my family. It's generations of generations from there. So
that's actually really special.
Yeah. That's my home. Like, yeah. I mean, I live here in Dallas. I've been here since 2013. So this is my home now, but
oh yeah, it's not home.
Yeah, it's not home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's not home.
Yeah, so yeah, New Orleans is my home.
Man, do you miss it?
I do. I do miss it. We went and got beignets like 2 days ago?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I was craving it. So, and it's not the same. It's not Cafe du Monde, you know, but it'll do for now. It'll do for now. You know, it'll kind of take the edge off of me missing home. And then I cooked jambalaya like that same night or maybe the night before. So yeah, you know, I miss it.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, we do need a plan to go to Nigeria though.
Oh yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I know for sure it's gonna be a different experience for you, but it's probably gonna be kind of similar to. It's very similar to like North. There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even when we've been friends for forever, but for me to like get to know your family and eat the food and listen to the music and learn more about the culture, I'm like, every time I'm introduced to something new about Nigerian culture, I'm like, this is kind of like New Orleans. Like the music is kind of similar, you know. The food tastes a little similar. The dances, like we be twerking. You know what I mean? Like we do stuff a little similar. So I love it. I would love to go visit.
So you're not worried about a place called home. You know, like
no.
you feel like you know where you're from.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know 100% what I'm made of. You know, people ask me all the time, like, what are you? Obviously I'm Black, but there's a lot that goes into this. So I don't know everything. So I would love to learn more about, who I am.
How do we do that? The 23andMe?
Yeah. You know, my mom actually did one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it was something on there that we thought we were our entire life. I want to say Irish, but it wasn't on there.
Oh.
Or maybe something like Indian, because my mom's mom, she's like half Indian. And it was like obvious, you know.
American Indian.
Yeah, like Cherokee Indian. And I think on her...
was it Native American?
Native American, sorry. I know, yeah, Native American.
I'm over here thinking, I'm like, oh, okay.
I know, all the Indians. And it was obvious that my grandmother was like, maybe like 70% of it, Yeah. But then on her, I don't know, ancestry.com or whatever thing she took, the DNA thing, it didn't even say it on there.
So it said? It said that 23andMe and those DNA tests.
Yeah.
People go to them for answers, but it often leaves people with more questions.
Yeah, my mom had a ton of questions.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, she was so confused. She was like, I thought I was told all my life I was this, and this. Yeah. And half of the stuff wasn't even on the list.
And then after you take it, and after so long, it starts to change the percentages.
That's so weird.
Yeah, because it's based on other people. Like it's a pool, so the more people who are in it, the more specific it gets.
That
so it
makes
might
sense.
so it might say 13%, Irish or something like that, and then after a while, it'll say 8% Irish because more people are in it now, and now they know. Okay, this is more specific to this area.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it changes through time.
Maybe I'll take one. We'll see.
Wow.
You should take one too. You're I know where I come from.
I know. I wonder what I was going to say. I've always been nervous to take that though.
Me too. I just don't trust it.
Oh, you don't?
Nah. I just don't trust it.
Yeah, you think they're just making up stuff? Just all right, whatever you say.
They're like, send us a picture of what you look like, and then they just guess based off that picture. They're like, okay, she looks like 15%, like Native American.
Because you can't prove it,
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with who I am and where I come from, New Orleans.
I feel that. Mm-hmm. Well, I got a word for you.
Oh, I like the words.
And this one's actually, you kind of reminded me a little bit about it. This is one of my favorite words, actually. Mm-hmm. And it's just a really juicy one. Mm-hmm. Schadenfreude.
Okay, say it again.
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
I think that's how you say it, Schadenfreude.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the girl said it on Real Housewives of New Jersey. New Jersey.
Do you remember the definition? I bet they hate that. Whoa, they're like, whoa.
It's something like where you enjoy, like you take pleasure in people's like misery.
Yeah, enjoyment in other people's troubles.
Yeah.
So when someone's failing, you get happy.
You secretly enjoy it.
Yeah, you secretly enjoy their demise, or that's Schadenfreude, and it's an envy, jealousy type thing when someone that that you feel should fail, and when they fail, you get happy. Yeah, it sucks.
I ain't gonna lie, I be having that sometimes though.
Everyone has Schadenfreude.
Yeah, everyone. I know, because there was this one girl that I used to work with, and thank God we don't work with each other anymore. Mm-hmm. God answer my prayers. But yeah, like we were both number one in the store all the time. She would be number one month, I'll be number one the next month. So we were very competitive with each other. Well, really, I was competitive with myself. She was competitive with me. And I could just tell she would be upset every time I had a big sale. Mm-hmm. But then when she would have like this huge sale, mm-hmm. I'd be a little jealous. But then when that credit card don't swipe, I'd be like, see, that's my God listening to me.
So it's almost like a karma that you feel like is due.
Well, yeah. See, that's what I thought, because she would just be so nasty to me, mm-hmm. and I would just ignore it for years, and so every time something bad did happen to her, I always be like, "See, karma,"
mm-hmm.
Because I never did anything nasty to her or said anything to her. It was just more like in my brain, mm-hmm. But every time something bad would happen, I would be like, karma.
Man, it takes a lot of work to be good.
It does. It definitely does.
Yeah, it's really hard, because you could sometimes being good, breaks you down in a way where you feel like you can't be that. You shouldn't be that anymore, because you're always being taken advantage of.
Yeah, it makes you feel weak. Mm-hmm. Like when people talking to you crazy, it's like, okay, I shouldn't say anything. I should turn other cheek and walk away.
Yeah, that's real discipline.
It is. But I ain't got that yet. my tongue too sharp.
Yeah, you got a smart mouth. You're super quick.
Super quick.
Yeah. Were you the person in like class who people would like clap on because you're gonna clap back quick?
Always. Yeah, I was that person. I was super quick with it. I'm better though. I'm not as bad. I mean, it's crazy because back then I would just pop off, but now I guess because I'm older, I'm more mature. Obviously, when people say stuff, I just don't even let it bother me. Mm-hmm. I'll talk crap in my head, but I'm just like, whatever. I don't even care. She's just jealous.
That's a learned trait, though.
Yeah, I just say it in my head. I'm like, she's just jealous. And then when karma happens, I'm like, see, I told you. She was talking all the crap about me, and look, it happened to her.
But what does that do? Is it when you keep it inside, mm-hmm. and you say, you know what? Don't worry about it. Does it hurt you? Do you feel it, or does it make you better?
No, you feel it.
You do?
Yeah.
Like it burns you a little bit.
It does burn you. When people talk crap about you and you didn't do anything, it's like I could pull you to the side and be like, hey, why are you talking crap about me? Or I could just be like, you know what? whatever. I don't really care. She don't like me, I'm cool with it, you know?
I'm crazy you say that, because I used to want to respond to a lot of things that I feel like just aren't right.
Yeah.
You know, and now I just find myself not responding to really anything.
I think I rubbed off on you.
Yeah. Because I don't respond, because, you know, it's not going to go in the direction that I expect. It never does. It never does.
Look, you need to stop.
And, you know, the second part is that when you do that, you expose like your insecurity.
Exactly.
You want them to be a certain way, and you think they should think a certain way, and that's not going to happen through a single conversation. That's just not going to happen.
Right. And you just can't let people get under your skin. And if they do, don't show it.
Yeah.
You know, like this girl, she was saying some nasty stuff, never to my face though.
Yeah.
So I will say that, because if it got
Which
to
is
that,
an
that's
advantage.
different. Yeah. So when I would hear things behind my back of what's being said about me, I was just like, but she don't even have the guts to say it to my face. Like I wish she would say it to my face, you know? So it does sting when you hear people say stuff about you, but then at the end of the day, you just like, who cares? You know, I ain't cool with it. I don't like her anyway.
Yeah.
So we got that in common.
That's true.
So
yeah, you are rubbing off a little bit on
just a
on
little
that
bit,
side.
just a little
Even though
bit.
I did get a little bit from my brother though, because
Your brother don't give two
yeah,
F's.
he my sister, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Man.
your sister's a little different though. She'll fight you, then she'll cut you off.
Yeah. My sister is petty.
I love her though.
Man,
I love
she's
her.
the best. I love her so much. Yeah, I just got the phone with her earlier, and she was already crying, but she loves crying. I think she enjoys
does.
it. Yeah, when
She
you give her,
does.
he's like, anytime there's something that sad happens, the first person we call, like, let's call Marlene.
Just to get her
Yeah, we
reaction.
call Marlene's like, Marlene, guess what happened? You know, we tell her, she's like,
That is so, y'all so
and,
mean.
and then she'll say, I'm crying right now. Oh man, I'm crying. I think you like that part.
But the funny thing is, I love when when the boys, your sister's twins, our nephews, when they were really little, you know, she would always call me for advice.
Yeah.
You know, when they would get sick and stuff, and she would always call me crying. I used to love it.
Yeah, why?
I'm like, she's a big sister, but she's asking like her little sister for advice, you know? So I used to love when she used to call me and cry. I'm like, I'm crying with you. You know, just kind of cry together.
So it kind of made you feel special.
Yeah, it made me feel special.
Wow. Well, this is a good bright ending to this.
Yeah.
You know,
Got to end it on a good note.
somber
I know, right?
discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything else that you would like to share with the people?
I mean, it would be kind of cool if people can kind of share like their thoughts about like what's happening, you know, because we are always sharing like our thoughts and opinions about, you know, different shows we see or experiences, or even like the virus that's happening.
How would you want them to reach out? You want them to like what?
I don't know, Instagram.
Like DM you?
Yeah. Don't DM me because I'm not checking
On there,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people are quite, look, there's so many listeners and people who watch, and then when I say, hey, tell me what you like you have any questions? They're like, no.
Like you don't have like one question?
Yeah, sometimes we get questions like, so what do y'all do when y'all fight? I'm like, come on now. Come on.
We box. We put on boxing gloves. What are you talking about? I got my pink ones.
Yeah, but you're right. We do love questions,
Yeah.
and we love to hear y'all's experience with what's going on out there right now, because it's treacherous out there. You know, you got to keep your head on a swivel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I've been saying, it's weird out there outside.
Very weird.
I'm not sure when we'll get back to normal.
I don't know, y'all. This second wave is coming.
Oh, you feel it?
Yeah, I hate to start like a whole new
Discussion,
but it's coming. So y'all be ready. Like I said, stay safe. You know,
Summer's almost over.
Yeah, it ain't even start yet. I don't think summer started yet.
Oh, we are. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I think people just really, really, really need to take this virus seriously. And look, if you are over it, I get it. And if you want to go out and not wear your mask, cool. But you know, if you start having symptoms, like just stay home. You know, don't go out, don't go visit family, don't go to work, don't get other people sick. Just stay home and take care of yourself, you know?
Sage advice.
Yeah.
Well, this was particularly great. And
I know, I had fun.
I enjoyed this one.
Man, I was tired in the beginning, but now I'm like, come on,
Now
let's
you got
keep
energy?
talking.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
We should.
What more can we talk about?
We should turn up though.
Man, we turned up last night. We were playing bounce music in the house.
Yeah. They might be like, oh.
I I know. I always say stuff that probably make them think, look, y'all, my parents are watching.
Well, we'll see y'all later.
Bye.
And thank y'all so much for listening.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Bye, guys. I always say, that was good.
And just as a note, that sometimes saying nothing is saying a lot.